everybody. Today I will be teaching Tapak Kuda. This is a traditional cake served during festivities in Singapore. So the next festivity that will be coming up is actually Hari Raya or Eid, which is celebrated, which Muslims celebrate at the end of Ramadan, at the end of fasting month. So we will usually have a lot of nice special bakes to enjoy during these festivities. Today this cake is a Tapak Kuda. If it's translated from Malay to English, it means horseshoe, and it's called horseshoe because of the shape of the cake. It's basically a roll cake, but instead of rolling it up, it's folded in half, and when you cut it, you will have the shape of a horseshoe shape. I'm filling mine with Nutella, so it's a Nutella Tapak Kuda. Right, a little bit advanced. This recipe is more suitable for those who already have baking experience. I try to follow the steps exactly as what I teach you. Alright, let's have a look at the ingredients first. I'm doing a chocolate and Nutella flavor, so I have a teaspoon of cocoa powder, a little bit of vanilla flavor, a teaspoon of vanilla flavor, 45 grams of sugar. You'll see there's two sugars, a 45 grams and a 30 grams. The 45 grams will be going with the egg yolk mixture, egg yolks and this. 30 grams of sunflower oil or any other flavorless vegetable oil, 45 grams of milk. And then for the flour, for this recipe, I'm using cake flour. It is softer, and a little bit of salt, pinch of salt. And then your 3 eggs. Usually I store the eggs in the fridge. It's easier to separate, but to beat up egg whites, you typically wouldn't want to have it very cold. If it's a bit at room temperature, will be better. Egg whites later will be beaten up with a bit of cream of tartar to give stability in the recipe, and the 30 grams of sugar. For the filling is a generous amount of Nutella. Alright. For the baking tray will be a 9 by 9 inch tray, and I will need a baking paper that is going to line it. Separate your eggs and egg whites. I'll be starting off with the egg yolk. So egg yolk will be 45 grams of sugar, 45 grams of milk, 30 grams of oil, and a little bit of vanilla. I'll just add in the vanilla with the milk so I don't forget about that. And the flour and salt. It's always be well organized, especially when we do recipes that's a little bit more complicated. Right, I can start mixing. So when we start mixing the egg yolks and sugar, you'll actually see that it's bright yellow and quite liquid. So I will be beating it on a low speed until it thickens up. The sugar should be mostly dissolved and the color will be very light pale yellow. Get your scraper and scrape the sides. Can you see the difference? It's much thicker, and then the color is much lighter as well. Next will be oil. I will add the oil gradually. let's have a look again. Okay, the mixture is really nice and thick. The egg yolk and the oil form the emulsion. Okay, it will be the milk. Okay, milk, and I have vanilla, so let's pour that in. And I will beat it really for just for 2 seconds. Okay, as little beating as possible. Okay, that's it. Okay, so really just to blend. It's flour. Okay, cake flour. Sift that through. And I will use the mixer to mix it as little as possible, so about 10 seconds only. Use the scraper, check that it's smooth and well mixed. And that's it, guys. Don't disturb this mixture anymore. Put it aside and we will work on the egg white next. Egg white, I'm using a little bit of cream of tartar as a stabilizing agent. Okay, egg white always on a low speed. And once it turns foamy, I will slowly add the sugar. Okay, I stir it around first. I turn it, shake. Okay, it's not dropping down, it's holding the shape. Next step is to fold the egg white into the egg yolk. I will do 3 additions of that, so 1/3 at a time. And fold it from the outside and then through the bottom as well. And underneath and over. So since I mentioned to you that we don't have any of those chemical emulsifiers, we rely solely on the egg white for this recipe. We don't even have baking powder in here. So absolutely important to handle this beaten egg white as gently as possible. You don't want to deflate any air out of the egg white. So it's a scooping motion. Okay, just scoop it and let it drop down. Don't push the spatula on top of the mixture. Okay, so I'm scraping the sides, scooping, and then just let it drop down. Okay, so at no point do I press with the spatula on top of the mixture. Right, done. Right, next I'm going to remove 150 grams of the mixture for the chocolate portion. Cocoa powder. Okay, and another difference from my tapak kuda recipe and many of the ones that you buy outside, I'm not using the artificial chocolate flavoring, the emulco. I'm just using cocoa powder. Again, it will give you such a beautiful clean flavor for the cake. And gently fold again, gently, very, very gently. Scoop around the sides and just let it drop over. I don't know if you can see, there's still some streaks and a few dots of cocoa. This is fine. After you bake the mixture, you will not see those dots. If you stir too much, again you will deflate the mixture. And try actually to prepare your baking tray before you start. Okay, so a baking paper, what you do is to put your baking tray on top, mark the corners with a pencil, and then cut the paper accordingly. So this paper should fit in just perfectly into your tray. It takes some time to make this precise. Paper will keep flipping down and it can be quite irritating, so to prevent that from happening, get a little bit of your mixture and just dab it on the sides and stick the paper there. Gently spread it to the corners. You would want to get it nice and level, so how I do it is to usually just wiggle. Don't bash or bang the tray, okay? Just give it a little wiggle and it will run flat. Okay. So this chocolate layer will go into the oven first. I will bake it for about 3 minutes at 180 degrees until the surface on top is just dry. This chocolate layer was actually in the oven for about 4 minutes, and what I want to look out for is when I touch the surface, it's dry on the surface. Okay. Next, get your vanilla layer again. Very gently pour that on top of the chocolate. Okay, for this you want to be really gentle. Don't squash the chocolate layer at the bottom. And be careful when you touch the baking tray will be full. Wiggle it a little bit to flatten the surface on top. Put it back in the oven for about 8 more minutes. The top should be really nice and golden brown. Alright, it's been about 10 minutes in the oven for the white layer. And so what I want to look for is the color. It must be golden brown, and then I will press with my fingertips and it has to be bouncy. If you press and it's very soft, or your finger indent is very prominent when you press, it's not done. Okay, so nice golden brown. This is done. I can take it out from the oven now. Kuda, when it comes out, what you would want to do is to straight away pull out the cake from the baking tray, loosen up the sides of the paper, and then I'll just loosely cover it with a clean tea towel so that it stays soft. Okay, so let me teach you how to fill up and shape the cake. What we want to do is to first of all loosen the baking paper. And how I do that usually is to get a towel or a rack on top, or you can even get the baking tray itself. And I'm just going to flip it over and pull off the paper. The filling will go onto the chocolate layer. Okay, so you can cut it in half. And this will give you 2 rolls. I'll get the cling wrap. Pick up the cake from the tray. And chocolate. A bit more in the center of the cake, and a bit lesser to the sides. Okay, otherwise when you fold it, the whole thing will just ooze out. And then the folding. Okay, this is the most difficult part. Okay, let's see. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we do a book fold. The way I do it is to get my both hands under the cake and just fold it. And then you can use the plastic wrap to tighten that up. Yeah, look at it. You keep it in your fridge for a day. Okay, the next day when you cut it, it will hold the shape just perfectly. Okay, I'm going to do one more. Let me show you the other one. Let's try it again. So another nice one. It didn't crack today. Stay safe and have a nice weekend. Bye.